James Hearn for the untouchable true school sports. Let's go, baby. Bow!
Be careful what you wish for because it can become a reality.
Yeah. The untouchable True School Sports Empire proudly presents something the boxing game's missing. Hey, what's going on? It's your boy BT, and I came here to talk some boxing with the thousands of True School Sports subscribers. All right, so pretty big signing for Eddie Hearn and Matchroom Boxing, and I wanted to talk about it because I've been waiting for this guy to sign to a major promoter for a solid year at least, because I just genuinely feel like this guy is a real threat to anybody at 140 pounds. He's an absolutely electric fighter. And that's none other than Nicaragua's very own Ernesto Tito Mercado. Yes, that Ernesto Mercado. It's been reported by the fine folks at the Bible of Boxing, Ring Magazine, that Ernesto Mercado has signed with Matchroom Boxing. He signed with Eddie Hearn, and I gotta tell you like this, man. I think it's a big signing for Eddie Hearn. I think Eddie Hearn signed someone in Ernesto Mercado that could be his next U.S. world champion, like Raymond Ford was, or like Diego Pacheco maybe in the next couple of fights in the coming year or so. Really good fighter, man. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about Ernesto Mercado, where he's at now, his style, all that good stuff, man. So Ernesto Mercado, he's 16-0, 15 knockouts, and when you really check under the hood and you look at the guys he's fought a couple recognizable names if you're up in your boxing. He fought Denier Barrio, a guy that fought Raul Valenzuela and took him the distance. He stopped Barrio in 3 rounds. Jeremiah Nakatilia, who was a smaller guy, he moved him up in weight, but people know that name. He knocked him out in 2 rounds. He fought the African gatekeeper Zolani Ndengeni, and credit to Ndengeni. He's the only guy to take Ernesto Mercado the distance. But everyone else, Hank Lundy, the corpse Hank Lundy, knocked out in a round. Jason Velez knocked out in 6 rounds. So, he's been getting out some good veteran fighters, albeit, I'll be honest, a lot of these guys are not fighting in their optimal weight class. But just a real electric boxer puncher who fights with a certain mean streak that you don't really see with a lot of young fighters. So I like that about him. And the thing is, when we look at his weight class, the guys in and around his weight, you got the guys like Teofimo Lopez and Keyshawn Davis and whatnot, Subriel Matias, Liam Paro. You got so many high-profile names you could match this kid up with, and it's crazy to me because when you look at the rankings, and this is why I always say boxing is political, because if you look at the rankings, Ernesto Mercado is nowhere to be found in the rankings in any of the sanctioning bodies, but I think he's definitely better than a lot of guys that are in the rankings. I'll tell you that. That's just the truth. But he's 19 on BoxRec. I always look at the BoxRec rankings if they're not ranked in the top 15. He's 19 on BoxRec, but he's not ranked in any of the sanctioning bodies. So look, I feel like he's right there. And with Matchroom Boxing now signing him, with him now getting the platform of Eddie Hearn hyping him up all the time, I think he's going to be someone that becomes a more relevant, popular figure in the sport. And I'll tell you this. Let me see. Who don't want to see this kid fight? I'll tell you who I like to see him fight. I would like to see him fight the deaf boxer that's been beating everybody, Julian Smith. I think Mercado versus Julian Smith would be a really good fight. Julian Smith's already taken the O of, Orestes Velasquez. He just beat Ergashev his last fight. He gave Kevin Brown a good fight. And these are all guys that are players in 140. So something like that. Kevin Brown or Julian Smith. Maybe Mike Williams, someone in the lower part of the top 15, just to get him in the door, just to get him, in the door and see, if he can't beat those guys, if he can't beat the Mike Williams and the Julian Smiths, and no disrespect to those guys, but if you can't mess with those guys, I don't see how you're gonna be a world champion. But like I said, just an absolutely electric boxer puncher who I know the fight that he's gonna want is Keyshawn Davis, because him and Keyshawn Davis have some history. I did watch his interview about Keyshawn Davis where he felt some type of way because Keyshawn Davis was picked over him to be on the USA team. So, but then he talked about sparring and how he beat up Keyshawn and all those things. So that could be a fight for the future. I like that fight for the future once Keyshawn moves up to 140. But yeah, as far as Mercado and what Eddie Hearn and Mercado said about the signing, Eddie Hearn stated the following, and I quote, Ernesto Mercado was definitely on track for superstardom. Fight news incoming for Tito. Big things are coming. Obviously, Mercado says, and I quote, to become a world champion is every fighter's dream, but I want to become a superstar. I want to build a Matchroom, get multiple titles, fight all over the world, and conquer with Matchroom. That's just my dream. So there you have it. And just so you guys know, Mercado's last fight, he knocked out Hector Sarmiento on July 27th. So he's been active, he's been fighting, he just hasn't been signed. So he hasn't had the platform to showcase his skills. But anybody who's been up in their boxing and paying attention to the landscapes of these weight classes, you would have known who Ernesto Mercado is. And if you don't know who Ernesto Mercado is, like I'm telling you guys, he's one of those guys that I think once people see him, they're gonna become fans of him, just because of the fact that when he's in there, he's got like upper echelon punching power. And the thing is, he's still so young. He's still 22 years old. I think he can still physically mature into becoming a better fighter than he is right now. And we'll see how it goes. But yeah, that's the news. Tito Mercado, Nicaragua's very own, by way of Pomona, California, right? Is it Pomona, California? I think that's where he's from, Pomona, California. He's with Matchroom Boxing. He's with Eddie Hearn. So Eddie Hearn gets himself another, top American talent. He's starting to reload the U.S. stable a little bit, and we'll see how it goes. But what do you guys think about the signing? How do you think Ernesto Mercado will fare under Eddie Hearn in Matchroom Boxing? What do you think about him overall as a fighter? If you've seen him fight, what's your take on him as far as his skills are concerned? Do you think he's got championship level, skill set, ceiling? Let me know in the comments down below. Make sure you guys take the time to subscribe. And like I say in every single one of these videos, you can love me or you can hate me, but I'm just a kid from Daniel. So until next time, take care, guys. Thank you for watching another video on the untouchable True School Sports Empire. I'm at the Boxing Hall of Fame out here in Canterbury, New York. And for more great boxing content just like this video, make sure you click and subscribe right over here.